Hey everyone, welcome back. I didn't even mean to record yet, but I've decided I'm going to because there's a bear next to our house. And I really want to see if I can lure him to the boat and kill him. Okay, wish me luck. Aggro him. Sprint for the boat, sprint for the boat, sprint for the boat. Oh my god, he's fast. Okay, a bear can one-shot me. I'll tell you that now. So I got an inventory full of rocks. As soon as I saw him near the camp, I went out to go start drying some boar hide that I got on my last hunting trip. And this was here. I guess I'll talk about stuff from between episodes. It hasn't been very much time between episodes. It's been maybe 12 hours between episodes from when I'm recording this and when I recorded the last. I just popped open my recording software really, really fast because this bear was here and I really want to try and kill it. Haven't killed a bear yet. Come on, Twitch. Only 20. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off. If I can just keep whittling him down, though, it's just I can't afford to be risky at all. One hit, and this thing will knock me down. Shit, I didn't know bears could heal. Maybe it can only heal once? If it can keep healing, then I'm just gonna get out of here until he leaves me alone, then teleport to base and get in my house where he can't hurt me, till he despawns. I'm doing grievous damage, although I think bears have like 300 plus health. Also, I was wrong about boar's health. They actually have up to 280, not 200, which explains why that took so long. I have a much better sling now, because I made it out of some of that really good boar hide, and I got my survival skill up. He's not healing. I got my survival skill up, too. So I could get better herbs to use as string. So that was nice. I'm doing well here. As you can see, I have my boar helmet on now, which doesn't give me strength. I was thinking maybe it did, but no, that's the bear cape. It is a very good helmet, though, so it gives me a lot of armor. So I only have armor on my boots and my helmet. No detriment to... I am dealing grievous damage, though. Maybe I want to whittle this one down. And plus, a bear hide is the highest quality hide you can get. I could make a really good sling with that, although I'll definitely need more survival skill, because I don't want to waste a hide like that. And it would be nice if I had better quality trees to use branches for a better drying rack. I'm not super prepared to make the best possible sling. But it would be better than my current one, which is 19. Although, it is a good sling. It's much better than what I was using before with the 9 quality, and then I used a 13 quality a little bit for hunting. But once I got this complete boar hide 19 quality one, I'm seeing a very big improvement. My marksman skills is still the same right now. Ah, crap, made that go away. Whatever, I'll just go to the next swing. Ah, crap. I think I'll probably off-screen this one then, if I just had to keep doing grievous damage. Right, you can see my survival skills up a little bit. I increased that, and I plan to increase that a lot more in the future, mostly for finding herbs and stuff, and anthills, because it'll really speed up the LP process. Farming, I've been putting up, of course, as you can see there, because I am going to focus heavily on farming. I also got my nature scaled. My industry nature scale is no longer neutral. It's 1 point in favor of nature, and I intend to go all the way on that one, go complete nature. And I've got my unarmed skill up to 15. It's 19 once you factor in all the nettle clothing I'm wearing. So I am actually able to dodge quite a few hits from very weak enemies. So I'm not so much... Ooh, that was a weak shot. I'm not so much in danger of instantly going down if some player comes by and throws a rock at me or anything. I can probably dodge that through my defense bar. Again, I'll explain more so how this works whenever I get in a melee fight, which may not be for a few episodes, honestly. But later this episode, because this is definitely going to be recorded over the course of multiple parts, because I didn't even mean to record yet. This bear showed up. Come on, take a twitch. There we go. Oh, that was a good shot. I did a lot of grievous damage on that one. And is there a good place to resupply on rocks? Perfect. I could just go across the stream there, grab some more rocks, come back, aggro them. I could do this forever, as long as people don't come by. So right after I finished recording yesterday, I was putting away all of the stuff that we got on our great hunting trip, and I saw 3 players outside my house. It all happened pretty fast, so I didn't really have too much time to react, but I just saw their dots at first. I didn't see them. Saw their dots on the minimap. Then I saw them start to come into view, and I said, hey, friendly? And then I noticed one of them had a pumpkin helmet on, and two of them had bandit masks. Pumpkin helmets and bandit masks usually mean the person is a bandit. Almost instantly, one of them stopped, faced me, shot an arrow, and instantly knocked me out. My soft health was to 0, so I was unconscious on the ground, but not dead. And for the grievous damage, 60 grievous damage. That was more than half my max health. One more arrow would have killed my character. He just says LOL, and he trespasses onto my land and walks up to me and starts checking my body, probably for loot. But he didn't take anything, probably because I didn't really have anything good. I had good stuff for a character of my level, but for a character of his level, it was probably junk, so he didn't take anything. He had 2 people with him, and he had a herd of pigs. So he had been out taming animals, which instantly shows you he has much better combat skills than I do. Taming an animal does require some serious combat skill, unless you do some tricks with fencing off animals and using a lot of advanced moves. There are some good strategies to that where you don't necessarily need to take damage. Come on, Twitch. Also, my perception is up a tiny bit just because of eating carrots. Luckily, carrots grow fast because I'm really trying to get my perception up. It's a huge priority for me, both as a marksman and as someone who explores and gathers herbs. I actually got a lot of LP last night. I got I think it's Peculiar Floatism is what it's called. It's one of the best curiosity items you can find. It's the second best one that you can just locate in the wild. It's one that spawns in deep water, so you'll need a boat to get to it, and it's not terribly common. But it's basically a bit of driftwood. And it's got a weight of about 6, a mental weight of 6, so it's a little high for early characters, but not too bad. You could get it even just on a new character, you could use it. Has a wait time of about 12 hours, which is a little long. Or no, I think it's only 5 hours, which is not too long. And the LP it gives you is ridiculous. It's like a base 6,000 or something. With my character at the 360% learning ability rate that I have from Change and Peaceful, I actually got 15,000 LP. I used that to go from like 3 unarmed to 15 and then get some farming on top of that. It is ridiculous how much that gives you, and you get so much out of 15,000 this early in the game. Like later in the game, that's not a whole lot. It's nice, but it's not a whole lot. At this point in the game, that is a massive character upgrade. So yeah, that was a great find. I did that one last night. And earlier today, I also found some gray clay, which is a rare clay that you can find if you have a high perception and exploration that randomly spawns in shallow water. So I collected some of that because that is one of the very difficult and integral things you need to get for a ceramic meat grinder to make sausage with. Because sausages are very, very good for stats. And if I can just get some bear meat, that'll be awesome. There's so many good things you get out of killing a bear. You know how the boar gives you boar tusks, and that's a unique thing to it that makes you this awesome helmet, as well as a few other things, like a drinking horn. Well, a bear drops its claws and teeth, I believe it is, or I think it's just its teeth. A bear drops its teeth when you kill it, as well as the bones, which are high quality, and the hide, which is high quality, and the meat, which is great. The teeth you can make into a bear talisman, which is like a necklace with the teeth on it. And that gives you strength and charisma when you wear it. Very nice little trinket to wear. Also, I believe you need some teeth if you want to make a village. You need the teeth of a bear and the antlers of a deer, which are the 2 hardest things to hunt because they heal, and because a bear will wreck you in combat. A deer is not very good in combat, but they heal very quickly. From a guide that I read online, I started looking up to see, like, around when can I take out a deer? From what the guides have told me, I can competently take out a deer once I have a marksmanship of about 50. I went ahead and looked, how much will it cost me to get from my 20 marksmanship to 50? About 100,000 LP. So I don't think that's going to be for a long time. I'm going to focus a lot more heavily on farming for now, because as long as I'm tending to the farms of the village, I want to make sure that the crop quality is always steadily increasing by at least 1 average point per crop generation. And to do that, I'm going to have to keep putting points in farming. So there's no point in putting up ridiculously high right now when most of my crops aren't at that level yet. But I can slowly put up. Now, can I chip stone from my boat? Oh god, that's so convenient. Awesome. And occasionally I'll just need to go back over here and throw another rock just to make sure he's aggroed on me. Can I throw from here? I can throw from there, but there's no way I'm hitting. I'm pretty sure distance does affect your accuracy. No, one thing I'm going to have to be really careful of. When I get close to him to start throwing rocks again... Hey, don't de-aggro me. See, I have to make sure not to get too close, because if he can reach me, if I get too close to the shore and he can reach me, I'm dead. I will die in my boat. And bears are one of the creatures that when they knock you out, there's a very good chance that they may continue to attack you while you're down and just kill your character. And if I die in a boat, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to get my equipment back if I found my body. Which is pretty brutal. Alright, I'm going to end the recording here, and I'm just going to keep whittling this guy down. I will kill this bear unless he despawns, or unless other players come by and I've got to retreat back to my house. By the way, if you're wondering how I survived that whole guy arrowing me and checking my body, he checked my body, he walked away a little bit, and I think he was planning to, he probably didn't have the murder skill. I don't think he had the murder skill, or else he probably would have finished me off right there, just to make sure I don't get strong and kill him one day, because I'm pretty sure they're from a village that's just up here. It's a decently big village. And if he is from there, then he's probably got it out for me, because I don't live too far away. But I think he didn't have the murder skill, so he couldn't shoot me from my own property, at least. I don't know. But he backed up, and he was still looking at me, and I think he had his bow out for sure, and I think he was planning to just do one last shot to see if it finishes me off as soon as I get up. But he knocked me down right beside my door, so the second I became conscious again and I was still laying down, I immediately right-clicked my door and got in the house. And he left me alone there. I don't know if he could have gone in my house and killed me. I don't have a lock on the house because I don't have metal to make a lock with, and I don't have the locking mechanism skill. However, not entirely 100% sure how the murder mechanic works. I don't know if he could have killed me in my house. Either way, me getting in my house did break line of sight, so he couldn't shoot me at least. But even if he could come in the house and attack me, though, there's nothing I could do about it. Like, I just had my sling. It was a 13 quality sling. I wouldn't be able to touch the guy. There's no way I'd land a hit. Anyway, time to start whittling this guy down. See you in a minute. Hey everyone, and welcome back. I've been at it for maybe 15 minutes now. Turns out it was just a deer off-screen healing the bear. Don't know why the deer and the bear were in cahoots, but they were. And as we see in the portrait here, it just became enraged, increasing its close combat skill to being even more lethal. However, I thought I'd turn on the recording again, because if it's going enraged, that means it's almost dead. Hasn't been healed for a while. I've been cranking it with rock after rock after rock. I moved him to this new position. I kind of led him over here so that when I go to get more rocks, he doesn't get de-aggroed and wander away. And he's got to be close to death now. Any one of these rocks could be the rock that kills him. So his level was set to X, which I think is 10, which I think is the highest level a bear can be, which would mean he'd have 800 health. It feels like I've done maybe 700 worth, maybe 600, I don't know. But I've been hitting him for a while. I've gotten lucky, got some 60s and some 50s. I've gotten unlucky, I've got some 5s and some 15s on him. But my god, this is gonna be satisfying when I kill him. And I will kill him. So apparently he can't run away now, I think. I'm still Twitch hunting because I'm worried. but apparently he will run away if he has low health, but if you activate Enrage, so like, if he passes the point if you keep hitting him when he's running and he gets enraged, then he'll keep charging you until either you or he dies. So as far as I'm aware, right now, if I were to get in his range and he knocked me over, he wouldn't stop until I'm dead. And also there's a rabbit we can see on the map there. He's not nearly as threatening as the bear. Perhaps they're in cahoots as well. The rabbit is giving him advice. I don't know where the deer went. I guess he just wandered away, which I'm very happy about, by the way, because he was obnoxious. Okay, next Twitch, I'm getting him. I'm still Twitch hunting because I want to be safe. Only a 25. I wonder how much Grievous damage I've done to this guy. I've knocked off at least 200 worth of Grievous damage. So if that deer comes back, at least it won't take as long to kill him again. Although it will still be brutally long. And I'm lucky no other players have come by. Players don't often come by my house, because it's kind of out of the way. I do a good job of making it not so close to the water that you can easily see it. You don't want to have your house so close to the water that people easily see it coming by, because then when bandits are going on their boat patrols, they'll see your house and they'll stop by it every time to rob you or kill you. Or just to break everything you have. So you want to be a little bit hard to find. Come on, any one of these shots could be the shot. I bet you if I look at the audience retention of this video a few days after it comes out, it'll show me that a bunch of people saw the first few seconds of me talking about the enraged thing, and then they skimmed through and skipped ahead trying to figure out where exactly it was that I killed it. Which I don't blame you for doing. But again, I could speed this up, but I kind of want you to see how long it takes to kill a bear with this technique, so you can kind of weigh against yourself. Do you want to be a hunter? Like, is this something you want to do? Because early game hunting, this is basically what it is. If you want to fight a bear in melee combat, you need like a melee combat skill of, I think it's 70 or 80 for it to be somewhat reliable. You need to have a shield, a good weapon, preferably not a stone axe, preferably something metal. Have some proper armor, preferably metal armor, not just leathers and stuff like what I'm wearing, you know, boar tusk helmet, which is nice, but it's not as nice as something actually made of bronze. So yeah, it's a little bit of a boring job, but it's a very rewarding one, and it greatly helps the whole village, because high-quality leathers is incredibly important for making good equipment. Especially clothing. Once we get someone in the camp who's really good at sewing, they can make some really nice leather boots for everyone out of these bear hides. And I know I'm going to be holding on to some of this bear hide myself to make a badass sling. So next time I hunt a bear, it doesn't take so long. So the quality of the sling increases the minimum damage you can do. Or, was it that? Or was that perception? No, perception was minimum damage increase. I don't know. There are three things that go into how well you do. That's perception, marksmanship, and the quality of your weapon. In this case, a sling. Normally, damage is also heavily determined by the ammunition type, but a sling just uses rocks, whereas a bow uses either... I killed him. Yes! With a sling, you just use rocks, which has no damage modifier. With a bow, you can pick between stone arrows and bone arrows. That is a hilarious-looking bear. He's a lot less threatening when he's dead. I guess most things are. Okay. Let's drop off all these rocks, get some inventory space. Alright, let's skin it. This will be great. We'll get some curiosity items, too. Alright, we got a bear hide 62. You see what I'm talking about best leathers from a bear? That crushes the leather we've been getting from those boars. And that boar leather was really good for us. We got a ton of intestines, high quality. We got some really high quality bear meat. This is awesome. And so much of it, too. My inventory's gonna fill. I'm gonna have to get out one of the crates. I didn't even have time to empty these crates properly. They're like half empty. From my last hunting trip. See, I saw some fox stuff in there. Alright, just put it all away. That's as much as I can get away for now. So much meat! Oh god, how much meat is on a bear? This is awesome! Can't wait to grill this up. Holy shit. You could feed a village off a bear. Am I gonna have enough inventory space for the bones? This is a lot faster if you have multiple people sling hunting, by the way. You can fit 2 people in a boat and have them both throwing rocks. That speeds things up. Beartooth Talisman. I actually don't have enough inventory space for everything. I'm gonna have to come back and pick this up. Alright. 110 quality bones. Dear God. I'm gonna make myself the most badass. Whoa. I hate that glitch. Sometimes happens when you walk in a house, the camera doesn't center. There we go. I'm gonna make myself the most badass saw in the world for making high quality boards. And I'm gonna use that to make a very high quality tanning tub, so I lose the least quality possible on my bear hide. Come on. Right, I had to move some of the lower quality tubs farther away so I didn't accidentally use them. I plan to destroy those later, just so no one uses them. Gotta pick everything up. There we go. Those are high quality bear teeth. And grab... Oh, no. Oh, right, I didn't have the inventory space. Whatever. I don't need it. So I gained the ability to make a Beartooth Talisman, which I think is... jewelry? Beartooth Talisman, 1 string, 1 jewelry. Or 1 tooth. What's my highest quality string? It's probably only 20. Now, normally, if you want to make a really good one, and you don't have a crazy good farm... There we go, that's 20 quality. If you don't have a crazy good farm to make plant fiber string, because plant fiber string has the highest potential you can get, then normally what you do is you'd make hide straps out of the bear leather, which is the highest quality leather. So let's make ourselves a talisman right now. 60 quality, gives me 12 charisma and 7 strength wearing it. So I now have that little talisman. I don't think you can actually see it on my model. No. But you sure as hell can see it there. Look at that strength and charisma. I don't think I have a single... Yeah, that's 12 points of charisma. I'm at 22 charisma, which is my highest stat now tied with strength, despite me never having ate any food that gives me charisma. Charisma is almost useless unless you're the leader of a village, though, so doesn't really give me the benefit. I'm more so looking at the strength, which I also don't really use, because that's a melee combat and mining thing. But hey, anything that makes my character just that little bit better, worth having. I don't have anything else on my next slot. And next time we get someone in here who's going to be a miner and really good at melee combat or unarmed combat, I can make them a bear tooth necklace and they'll get a lot out of that. Have other bear teeth too that we can put in storage. I believe those can be used for a few things. Some of those crazy quality bones, I'm going to hold on to one of those right now. And we're going to start grilling up some of this meat soon. And these crazy good intestines, you can use that for crazy good sausages, but we don't really have any sausage making stuff to make sausages right now. We don't have a grinder. So until then, I could use that as incredibly high quality bait for fishing. Which I actually can use one of these bones too to make a fishing hook of a much higher quality. I believe that's soft capped by survival. We have a lot of bones to work with here though. Soft capped by survival, so it might not be the best quality in the world. It's not going to be a 110 quality hook. Fishing gear, bone hook. It'll be good though. Let's just fashion that into a hook. 65 quality hook. That's a hell of an upgrade. We can also use one of those 20 quality strings to make sure we have a better string for our fishing rod. We can use some 110 quality intestines for the bait. Maybe we can catch some good fish now. And fishing itself has no related skill to it. It's entirely based on the quality of the fishing rod, the bait or lure you're using, the string you're using, and the hook you're using. So, fresh new character with an awesome fishing rod is just as good as me with an awesome fishing rod. Right. We need to take the supplies out here. I also want to get drying this bear hide soon. Unfortunately, I don't have any high-quality trees, and that's going to take a while. So, I would have another bear dead by the time that happens. I might as well... Ooh. One of these things are done, and we have a decent quality pea pod. I'm going to go plant that. And the carrots, when they're white like that, when they have the white bits on them, that means they're they're one stage away. They're one stage away from being ready to pick. You can pick them right now, but you'll just get seeds rather than actual carrots. Okay, bear meat. I think I'll cook the bear meat on screen just because I feel like we all probably want to revel in this. I don't even have enough inventory space to cook it all at once. Alright, light my fire. Let's see how good this stuff really is. Roasted meat. And let's actually just put one of these away temporarily. Just so I have inventory space for it to not constantly drop. Roasting some bear meat. Looks the exact same as roasting rabbit meat for some reason. Okay, I think it's worth strength and maybe charisma. I know for sure strength. Wow! 7 strength off that 40 quality. Now, I believe the quality is brought down by, I think it's my cooking skill soft caps it. Actually, no, I don't think cooking has anything to do with roasting over an open fire. Cooking is for when you prepare an actual meal of multiple ingredients. I believe cooking over a fire like this is just survival, which is good because my survival is 20 is 20 is a higher number than 1, which is my cooking. In fact, it's much higher. So I'm at 15 right now for I'm at a 15 right now for strength, which means I can go up 1 more before I start raising how much I need to eat to get a skill point. In fact, I can just eat 1 right now. Boom, strength point. That fills you a lot too. And my health, my max health is up pretty high too. I've been leeching a lot to help get that up. I actually have an entire crate of leeches in my house that I use for healing max health. It's a rough way to do it, but it works. It's also really good for making yourself hungry because you'll use up that hunger to heal. It's a good way to force yourself to get hungry even faster for if you want to mass eat food and get stats. So my strength is as high as it can be right now before I start increasing the meter. See, it's out of 16. You'll notice that there are a lot of things here I'm trying not to get above 16, namely my dexterity and my intellect, because they're both at 16 right now. I don't want to raise the cap. I want to get my perception to 16 before I start raising it some more. Constitution is really the only thing I'm not concerned about. My agility is 16, it's just brought down by a lot of my equipment. And of course, equipment doesn't factor into your eating, so my bear talisman bringing my stuff up to 23 there for strength, that doesn't affect me. Strength, by the way, I don't think is your chance to hit in a fist fight or anything. Like, it's straight up damage. There isn't really a straight up like a miss chance like there is with a bow or a sling when you're in melee combat. Instead, it's your attack roll against their defense roll. And if their defense runs out, any leftover damage or any leftover number from their defense running out gets taken out of their health on a hit. So there's no missing. It's just you don't deal damage if your attack roll didn't outperform their entire defense meter. It'll make a lot more sense once I show you what I'm talking about. Oh, bear meat right there. I accidentally cooked one piece of fox meat. Put away some of this bear meat on my table. Oh man, we're gonna have to find someone in the camp who wants to be the miner soon. Because that dude is eating well. If I'm catching him bears, oh man, he'll have no problem getting strength up. And right now we're just cooking all this meat because we're not going to have a ceramic meat grinder by the time we run out of bear meat from this one bear. So I might as well just cook it all now, have it for whoever wants to go hardcore strength. Our miner is definitely going to be an unarmed or melee fighter with that kind of strength that they're going to have. Oh, man. And you notice, by the way, I didn't hang my bear hide despite how I have free... I've got free drying racks up there. I want to make sure I'm drying it within my own property here so that it's not easy for any character to just walk by and steal it. Because I don't want someone stealing my bear hide, my max quality bear hide. I believe this is the highest quality it can be, is 62 for a raw hide. So yeah, I'd rather no one steal that. So I'd rather that be in my property where it's only much higher level characters can steal that. Anyway, I'm going to stop the recording again, and when we come back next time, unless something really cool like this happens again, the next time you see me, we're going to have more people in the village. It'll go from a house, just a hermit's house, to a hamlet with a population of maybe 3 or 4. See you in a minute. Hey everyone, welcome back to the last part of episode 4. Is it episode 4? It's been about a week since the last fade you just watched. As you can see, my stats are much, much higher here. Let me take off my, these two things are giving me benefits. There we go. This is what my stats more so look like, although my agility is actually much higher than you're seeing there, because of all the nettle clothing I'm wearing. My perception is 38, though, and my marksmanship is 74. So as you can see across all these things here, I've been putting in a lot of work on LP. I'm studying a lot of things here. Let me put my bear cape back on to get some more strength, my bear talisman for strength and charisma. So my strength is very, very high now, although I'm mostly fighting with my sling, which I have a much higher quality sling now. I made it out of bear pelt. We have a loom here for making plant fibers into linens, and the whole house is just filled out a lot more with storage space, as well as an altar there for if I want to sacrifice anything to my ancestors, which I have not done yet. Let's go to the outside here. We can see I've got a full farm here, and I'm going to show you a little trick I like to use when I need to make my character hungry quickly, so that I can eat, because we have a lot of things growing. I just start plowing the ground with my hands 3 times. Don't use an actual plow for this. If you do it 3 full times, you'll run low enough on stamina that you're too tired to plow. And then you sit down in a chair and you regenerate your stamina faster, and thus your hunger goes down faster. You can do it a little bit faster than this if you use water, but this is a lot more simple and doesn't require you go and get water every time. We also have a beehive, which speeds up the growth of every crop in that zone, and in return it produces honey and wax. You can see the honey dripping out of it. I can get that in a bucket. We have every kind of crop growing here, so I can go through that soon. And before I forget, I just want to go over here and pick all of these crops. Oh, a little bit of server lag going on. Yep. We can pick all these crops. And you'll notice we have some neighbors. I have let the first 3 people into the village, so I'll be going through them in a moment. Doesn't look like any of them are online right now. But in this episode, I'll be talking about ideas on if you want to join the village, then we can talk about... I don't want to go that high. Just don't want to go pick a fight with the boar. I've killed a lot of boars and bears by now with my awesome marksman skill, but I do that from a boat. My unarmed skill is not great enough to dodge all those attacks and everything. They're pretty tough to fight. Anyway, I'll be talking about if you join both how to join, and also if you were to join. I'll be teaching you what it is you really need to know. You'll notice I'm not leading them away right now. My unarmed skill's so high now that they can take away from my defense, but it's very slow. There. I didn't really get anything good. I'll just get them stuck in the water there real quick, so I can walk away easier. Right. So both how you might want to, how you want to join the city, the village, the hamlet, it's a hamlet, and if you were to join, what it is you should do, some ideas for what you could get started on doing. So we have with us right now, we have Zandak, who lives just over here. I'll show you that in a bit. I live right here, of course. Super Effector lives right here. That's Ash on the streams. And we have Disorder over there. You'll see there's a stone road along there. That actually has an actual wooden wall built that Zandak has been working on. He's got quite a decent claim down there. Anyway, So we have 4 people living here so far, including myself, and all of us have kind of taken up different roles. I don't think Disorder is currently specialized in any particular thing. He's probably going to work on that later if he hasn't already, but I do see he has a bit of a farm going. Super Effector is the one who lives just below me. He's working on his strength and mining. He's going to be something of a blacksmith and a miner, which will be very useful, because we have no one else that really does that at the moment. And Zandak, I think, is focusing on farming, as am I, although Zandak's biggest focus is on dexterity and sewing, so he can be like a tailor. He can make the clothing and make sure it retains its quality without dropping a lot, because we don't really have anyone else that does that. I'm pretty hardcore into farming, but for my combat skill, because everyone needs some kind of combat skill, my combat skills, I'm working in marksmanship. Because of that, I need very high perception, which makes me especially good at foraging. Everyone needs to learn how to forage, which is, of course, exploration times perception. And if you go on the Haven Hearth wiki, you can see the chart of, when you multiply those two together, you see your answer of what number it is, and that'll show you what herbs and stuff you're able to actually see, which is very useful to know. Everyone needs to know how to forage. It's just a massive part of the game. However, I tend to be especially good at it because I am going to marksmanship, and because of said marksmanship, I need to have high perception, because part of my range damage is based in that. My minimum range damage is based in that. So I need to have a very high perception. So you can see there's my highest stat right now at 38. I have a lot of carrots I could be eating to get that up more, but I'm intentionally kind of holding off on that, entirely because I don't want to end up with like too long of a bar to fill just to get other stats. I'm trying to catch up on some other ones right now. Also, the reason I'm just wandering around and picking herbs is this is a really good habit to get yourself into, is when you're not sure of what to do, or for me, when I'm just conversing and I need to do some busy work on screen just to keep things active, I walk around and pick plants and forage, because every time I pick something, even if I don't really need it, I don't need wild windsown weeds anymore. Those you put on a drying rack and you get a random seed, but I already have every single crop, so I'm growing it myself, and I can get good quality seeds much faster by growing it and planting the best seeds of each crop yield. However, I am also going to show you some good tricks for farming in this episode too. So, let's say you want to join the village. Well, let's teleport back to the village. That was AEH again, which is the panic button. Go back to Hearth. Let's just see how these guys joined us. Over here we have Disorder's plot of land here. He's been hard at work, as you can tell. He's got a nice big plot. He has a lot of different things. Some of these he can't even use yet, as far as I'm aware. He's got a storage shed down there. He's got all this production going. It's great. He's got things very well organized, and he did a really good job of making the most out of a relatively small area. He joined because he was on the forum. He went to the computer gaming section of my forum, which is in the description, and he started posting around on the Haven and Hearth topics over there. And I saw that he was posting a lot, and I wanted to bring a person from the forum in as one of my first people. So I sent him an inbox message and said, like, hey, do you want to be in? And he said he did. So I inboxed him my Hearth secret, which I have since cleared. I'm going to clear it every time to make sure it doesn't get abused or anything. And he was able to add me, and he just walked over here. Once he added me, he just waited for me to come online. We joined a party together, and an arrow will appear on screen telling you where to go, but the arrow is actually wrong sometimes. So instead, when you see the portraits under your portrait, which will be your party members, you can right-click on the portrait, and there will be a follow button, and that'll make you start walking in the correct direction. So you can always use that to figure out what direction it is you have to go in. And after about a half an hour, he was able to find us, which was very lucky. We have Super Effector down here, who is a friend of mine. He joined because I knew he was interested in the game. He had told me he was interested in getting back into the game, and he had played before, so he had some experience. So I got him to join in. And I'll be showing you Zandak's house in a moment. Let me just raid this anthill real quick. Never want to let these go to waste, because if no one's in an area for a long time, I think it's something like 20 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that, then the area completely refreshes, all the collectibles change, and I'd rather raid all the anthills, because there's a small chance we'll get an ant empress, which is still very useful to us. Despite all the things we grow and how we don't really get any good food from that, my survival skill is very high, so I actually get high quality larvae depending on the soil there. And you're seeing I'm getting high quality blueberries and stuff. It all depends on the soil it's on, and is hard capped by survival. My survival with gear, though, is about 50. So I'm not finding any herbs higher than, I think the highest I've ever found is 40. I think it goes above 40, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, it's a good idea to collect everything you find, because with anthills you could get an ant empress, which is a very, very good LP item for studying. And you want to collect every single herb you see, because even if you don't need the herb, there is a chance that you'll either get an itsy bitsy spider or an itsy bitsy spider web. The web is a bit better, but they're both very good LP items that you can study. They take about a day and a half each to study, but my god, is it worth it. Just pick every herb, because there's a small chance that it may give you what you need. Also, pick up every frog you see, because there's a very small chance that any given frog is going to be a surprised frog. Let me just drop those. A surprised frog, which is an LP study item. You can also find a lot of different herbs and rare things that you can combine and craft with the surprised frog, and they'll give you, I think it's the best study item in the game, maybe second best study item in the game. I think a second best in the game is if you find a surprised frog and you find like this toadstool thing to stand it on and a crown for it, you get this amazing LP item. But anyway, we can see this gate here and everything. Just past this gate, which I don't have a key for, but that's okay, is Zandak's place. As you can see, just like in the previous village from about a year and a half ago, he's got quite a well-done farm. He's all about that farming. Got a house here. He's got everything set up, a lot of storage and everything. Life-giving water, nectar of the gods. Anyway, so those are all of our places. Zandak joined in because I messaged him. Actually, I think he might have messaged me first, but I intended to message him anyway, because he put in probably as much work as me, if not more work than me, into the previous village. And so I know he's good at. I know he knows what he's doing. I know he's good at it. And I know he likes the game. So he's an obvious choice of someone to bring in. So I brought him in. So right now we have 4 people total. We're all pretty dedicated. We play pretty often. We pop in at least once a day, but usually much more than that. Spend at least an hour a day, making sure we get everything done. Right now, we're not really doing much village stuff. Like, we don't have village roles at the moment. We kind of have roles, Zandak is focusing a lot on being a tailor, so that he can take care of that. Ash is working on mining, so that when we get a mine hole, which we'll be soon, I have rust root, which I can use for prospecting. Once we get to work on that, we'll be able to get Ash mining, which will be awesome. Ash is his name, by the way, not we're mining to get the item Ash. Oops, wrong one. Because you don't mine for that, you just burn food for that. Just trying to figure out what I want to put away here. I don't think I even want that. There. Okay, I'm going to teach you some farming tricks in a second. However, back to what I was saying before I forget it. And I'm already forgetting it. We don't really have many public village roles. It's not like there's a big public farm that Zandak and I take care of, and then, stuff like that, where we're all using community stuff, although we will be, at some point. I'm mostly tending to my own personal farm before we get any kind of community farm going. Mostly because a community farm, we might not even get a community farm. What we might do is have, our farmers will have their own individual farms, like this one, that will then move an allotted amount every day to public storage so that anyone in the village can go get it. That might be a wise idea, because I could see some real problems cropping up with people coming in who have no farming skill and don't understand that if they pick a high-level crop, it'll completely degrade in quality because they don't have farming skill. So it might be a better idea that the farmers stick to the farms and they move whatever's food left over outside for the rest of the village to eat and gain skill. However, we do trade with each other. Anytime one of us really needs something and the other one can cover it, we do. All we do is we communicate what we need, and usually the other ones are able to cover that. And we do trading that way, which is very convenient. In fact, I have a barter post out there, although it's barely used at all right now. Still need to work on that some more. Barter post is just a place where you can trade items without using currency, because we have no metal to mint currency right now. Anyway, these are fully grown carrots. Carrots grow incredibly quickly, especially with a beehive. So this is a perfect thing to teach you. I put on my straw hat, which gives me extra farming skill. This brings us up to 50. And your farming skill, it determines the maximum quality of crops you can get. So by having it always a step above your best crop, it'll ensure that you're always getting better crops. So I just want to temporarily put this rest root. You know what? I'll put it somewhere else. I believe I could fit it right here. My storage is a little bit in dismay. So I have this big cupboard out here. Let me just double check. Doesn't need repairs. Okay. It's always a little hard to tell. So I have enough inventory space with my backpack to harvest 8 of these 9 plots here. As you can see, I have things broken down into 8x8s, except for the wheat down here. I always like having a lot of extra wheat. I'm going to be planting more wheat in the future, probably. But my carrots are my highest quality crop, as most farmers' highest quality crop is carrots, just because they grow by far the fastest, which means that they go through generations faster. So every time I get a whole bunch of crops, all I do is I plant the best ones, and then every time you pick it, there's a chance of some of them being higher quality, some of them being lower quality. As long as you keep planting the higher quality ones, then they'll get better and better quality over generations as long as your farming skill's high enough. So what I'm going to do here is I use this empty cupboard here. I hold Shift and Alt, and I left click. That moves all of that item type into the storage unit. Now I'm going to Shift Alt, right click on a carrot, and what that did was it brought everything back into my inventory and is ordered by quality from bottom right being the best and top left being the worst. The reason I specifically want the best in the bottom is because I left-click to put on my cursor, and right-clicking would plant it. If I hold Shift and right-click, I'll plant it, and it'll bring the next bottom right one into my hand. So by holding down Shift, I can keep right-clicking through here, and it'll always put the best quality one in my hand. If you were to have done Shift-Alt left-click, it orders it the opposite way, which would actually give me a lower quality. So we're just gonna boop, boop. And we're getting we got a really good crop yield this time. Sorry, server lag going on again. There we go. There, we just planted our 9 carrots really quickly. We're left over with this pile of carrots, which is awesome. Lots of carrots for giving perception. I have a ton of extra carrots, by the way, so when I bring new people in, if you want perception, and I'm sure you do, because perception's good for that early foraging, so you can get your LP up, I've got plenty of carrots for you. This is why you only need a 9x9 plot of carrots. You can feed a lot of people off a 9x9 plot of carrots. I'm sure Zandak is growing carrots as well, too. And yeah, as you can see over there, those are fully grown carrots, too. So everyone are growing carrots except for Ash, who's only growing pumpkins, because he is high in industry rather than nature, so he doesn't get a net profit on crops when he harvests crops, unless pumpkins, because pumpkins are not affected by the industry nature slider. You just get 1 pumpkin, and it's full of seeds and pumpkin flesh. So yeah, we have a ton of carrots here, and I don't really need any of these carrots. I was just trying to get the quality higher. So I am just going to do what I usually do whenever I have a shit ton of carrots and no use for it. So Ash down here, being my good old buddy and pal, has it set on his claim that I'm allowed to do anything on his claim as if I'm the owner. So what I'm going to do over here, and let me turn on tracking, so that I can, tracking is a skill I picked up, by the way. I did buy a few skills here. I'll just scroll through them very slowly, because I don't know exactly what ones I didn't have before. I know I didn't have beekeeping, I don't think I did, at least. I didn't have basic mechanics, which I got so I can make the loom to weave things. I've got beer making now. I don't think I had that before. I've got brawling to give myself some extra melee attacks, because I don't think I had that before. We've got glass making, because I've been making wine bottles and filling it with wine. I've started my wine production. We have metalworking. I picked that up just so I can prospect. I got mining and metalworking so I can prospect to see if I can find metal underground. There's mining. And prospecting, which of course lets me prospect. It lets me figure out if there's metal under where I'm standing. I have rage, which I don't think I had before. This was a very expensive one to get. It allows me to initiate combat with other players. So if I were to see a thief come by, and it's just a new player thief trying to steal stuff because they know that I don't have raging and neither do they, so we can't stop each other, he's gonna get quite the surprise when he gets a rock upside the head. And if he wants to close in for melee combat thinking, oh, this new player must only have ranged attack, because of my bear cape and everything, when I've got the bear cape on, I have a strength of something 60-something. I could knock him out. I have ranging, which allows me to track scents of crimes, so I can track out criminals. I'll leave a criminal scent doing this trespassing, but oh no, I think it won't count as trespassing, actually, because, yeah, he's letting me on. We have the animal thingy thing that lets us work with silkworms and everything, although silk moths and silkworms, which I don't do at the moment. I probably will be in the future, though. It's a bit difficult. I have trespassing, so I can turn on criminal acts and trespass on someone's claim if I need to. I have that as a just-in-case precaution. You never know. We have unarmed combat, which led to brawling, of course. That just allows me to punch so that I've got some kind of melee attack. I have Valor. I forget exactly why I took Valor. It unlocked something useful. I think it unlocked the ability to make some kind of item that I wanted to craft. Wheel making so I can make carts and other kind of cargo things like that. Wine making so I can make wine because I do produce grapes. And I believe that's everything new. Anyway, so what I'm going to do here is actually, I can't walk through his hearth fire, as I taught before. So I'm just going to, boom, break down a piece of his fence and walk right in. And here's his house. So I'm just gonna boop, boop, boop. Man, he's been fishing. I don't have some of these fish. Pike are really good, I think. I do need to go on a fishing trip again sometime. Haven't done one of those in forever. And then I just walk out, extend east. Oh, nope, come on. There we go. And build. Fixed his fence so trespassers won't get in. And the next time he comes online, he's gonna go into one of his cupboards looking for something and find that he is overflowing with carrots, which I'm sure he won't complain about, although it'll be funny. Anyway, so let's go to our friends screen here. So we have, and this is how I have ordered different people, by the way. We have Vogito, who's a ranger. He's cool. He came by and he picked up some scents that were left by those bandits who shot me back in episode, or I think it was right after episode 2. He picked up those scents to go track them. We got Zandak. He is, now, here's how I have everything set. White is the color of a stranger who I don't, I should change that. You know what? I'll change that to orange. Orange is the color of a stranger who I don't really know very much. We don't really communicate, but I'm pretty sure they're friendly and I have them memorized. Yellow is someone in the community. I have them marked off as yellow, so I know like that is someone who lives here. Specifically, yellow is someone who lives here and is in the community. So we got Zandak there in disorder. They're both yellow. And then we have blue, which is someone that I know personally who lives here. So we've got Super Effector 2, because Super Effector 1 did die. I believe he was mauled by a bear or something. And we have Augustus Lee Thanatos II, who, weirdly enough, craziest coincidence in the world. I met this guy yesterday. I was just walking at my front door to go to my farm, and a guy was walking by. He didn't look armed at all. He had a farming cap, and he didn't have a weapon out or anything. So I just said, hey. And he said, hey. And he's like, wait, holy shit, Mah-Dry-Bread? And I was like, actually, Mah-Dry-Bread. And I was like, are you a viewer? And he's like, yeah, like, and we communicated a little bit. Turns out that he's a guy who was searching Haven and Hearth on YouTube, and he found part 1 of this playthrough. And he had watched that part 1 of this playthrough an hour ago, and he just, wandering around the world, bumped into me. That is incredibly rare if you don't know. The world in this game is massive. It's absolutely massive, and if you were to walk to the edge of the world and keep going, it'll just generate more. It is like a Minecraft world. It goes on forever. And he bumped into me about an hour after first finding a YouTube video I did. So, hey, he might be watching this one, I don't know. But he is on my forum now, which is cool. And one day he might even live here. I'm going to be taking more people in soon. I would like to take in some people who are longer-standing members of the community and more active on the forum and everything first. Like, I do see, actually, I do read that Haven and Hearth topic every day on the forum, and we do have a few people there that I'm looking to maybe bring in who seem to be talking quite actively on there and seem to be playing it every day. They seem like they really know what they're doing and everything. So I think I'm seeing 2 or 3 of them in there that I think I might bring in next. When I'm going to bring them in next? Probably after episode 5, because episode 4 here is teaching you what you could do. And I know I'm rambling a ton, but things you could do. Let's say I pick you on the forum, I send you your inbox message on the forum that has my Hearth secret, which as you can see right here, I don't have one set at the moment, but I set one for you, and then once you add me, I get rid of it, just to make sure it doesn't get abused or anything. I don't want it getting traded around, so I pick a different one every time. So let's say you get your inbox message with my Hearth secret. Here's what you can do. It's completely up to you. You've got 2 choices right off the bat. You can either make a new character and put in the Hearth secret to teleport straight to me. That's okay with me. Or you could use the Hearth secret to add me on your main character and walk here. Or use a boat here. I'd recommend a boat. I would recommend you bring your already made character here, if you don't mind what could be a long walk or a long boat ride. Might take you more than an hour, like, it could take a while. And remember, don't necessarily follow the arrow, just hit the follow button every once in a while to tell you the direction I'm in. But you can use that, and that'd be wonderful, and you'd be able to find us through that. Once you get here, you might be wondering, what should you do? Well, you're probably going to want to start making a home. Here's the parameters for making a home. Like, let's say you just have a spruce bed on the ground, and you're basically camping outside as you haven't built a house yet. Or you don't have the skills to build a house yet, which, by the way, we can help you build a house. Here are kind of the rules for settling in what will one day be our full-on village. Don't settle anywhere closer to the water than I am. We want to be far enough away from the water that if you were up there, this house wouldn't show up. You might see it on the map if you got really close, but we don't want to get super close to the water, because when bandits are looking for a place to raid, they're usually going by boat, because it's the fastest way to travel. So they'll just be boating along the river and looking for a place to raid. If we go any closer to the river than this, they'll be able to tell we've got an active, low-level village, and they'll just raid us. You might die, you might lose characters, and anything of value you have, they'll take. They're probably not going to take a lot of the stuff, because a lot of the stuff they'll probably have better of. However, anything really good they're going to take, and they're probably going to kill you, so you're going to have to make a new character with lower LP and lower stats and work your way back up, and it's going to be a big pain. So, we're avoiding that. Don't go too close to the water. Other things to keep in mind when making your place. Don't clear-cut mass areas of trees. We want to make sure that this forest is fairly intact. Make sure there's always a tree in every little area, you know? And also, I'm planting more trees, as you can actually see up there, but trees grow very, very slowly. The high nature people are going to be planting a lot of trees, so we can get good quality wood around here. But until then, we don't want to totally clear-cut ourselves out or anything. So be a bit selective, make sure you leave every tree here and there, and if you're going to cut a tree in this area, try and cut the really, really tall ones first, because that way you get more wood out of less trees. Also, make sure to remove stumps. Always cut the stumps, so that we're not wasting room. It looks nicer not having the stumps around, and the stumps do give you a few blocks of wood. It takes a while, but it's worth it. We're gonna make the most efficient use of every bit of wood we could, so that we don't end up clear cutting ourselves out before we can really get massive tree production going. Because right now, it's really just myself producing trees. I think that Zanuck might be working on trees. I know that Disorder is working a little bit on trees. He's got a little bit of that going. But really, no one's hardcore on trees at the moment, so let's be careful with how much wood we use. Other things to keep in mind, you can actually turn these boulders into runes, which you can then carve. You can one-time carve writing into it, and you can move it around and have it be like a signpost, essentially. Don't do that too much. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that to too many rocks around us. Especially don't do that near someone else's house, because they might be using that rock for something. For instance, this rock right here that's near my front door, I chip away at this rock all the time. I'll chip away at this rock so I can get some stones to use for my sling. It's really useful for me because I'm the best hunter in the village. I'm the only guy in the village right now with legitimate combat skills. Not only can I initiate combat with other players to ward off thieves, but I'm a good marksman. I can do the hunting for the village, which is what I'm doing right now. I do hunting and farming at the moment. So it's really important that I have this rock here because it saves me a lot of time on getting my ammunition for my weapon. So don't take if you're going to make something into a rune, do it near your house or do it way out in the wilderness. Just walk off into the wilderness a little bit, do it to a random stone, lift it, and then teleport to your hearth fire back here. And that way you didn't use up something that could have been useful to someone else, which is awesome. Another thing, you want to set your hearth fire over here as soon as possible. So I already went over in the first episode the skills you want to get right away. You want to get hunting, you want to get... Was it foraging? You want to get foraging, hunting, and... Let me refresh myself real quick. It was hunting... Ooh, stoneworking? Lumberjacking, that was it. Lumberjacking. You want... those three skills are the first things you want to get. Maybe fishing after, maybe stoneworking. From there, you can spread it a little bit, but again, you can go rewatch those videos if you really want to see the things you want to get into early. But one thing you do want to get into early on that I don't know if I've mentioned is hearth magic. That way you can relocate your hearth fire. And if you haven't gotten any string, let's say you're not very good at foraging yet, you haven't found any spindly taproot, then if you need a beautiful dream to set your hearth fire, just let whoever's here know, and we can get you a dream really easily. I've got Dreamcatcher right there. So that's all you really need to know when starting up in our village. Don't go too close to the water, don't use up someone else's resources, be nice and everything, and if you need any food, hey, you know who to come to. Let me know what kind of food you want, like what kind of stat you're trying to get up, and I've got plenty of crops for you. I can even cook some of it. I'm not a very good chef yet, don't have a very good oven yet, but I can cook some basic pastries and pies and stuff. As for things we're looking in the village at this moment of recording this, let's just take that there. And craft sear leaves. Every once in a while I like to craft some sear leaves. It's just a study item, it's not a very good one, but hey, it's something. Anyway, let's say you want to join. What is it that you should focus on? What are we lacking right now? Well, more farmers is always useful. We've got plenty of food for us right now. However, you never know. We're going to have a big population one day. More miners. Maybe we'll need more miners. I'm not entirely sure. We'll need more miners in the future, but that's not really a big concern right now. What I would really recommend is just focus very heavily on foraging and getting your foraging skills up, as well as intellect. Intellect is always important. But you want to really focus on getting your skills up in foraging early on, just so you can be good and ready for when you start to heavily focus on something. Sorry, I'm just looking for where the hell I put my jar of rust root extract. You know what? I bet you I put it in a crate outside. I'm a little bit disorganized. Over here? No, that's my wine bucket. No, right, I already checked those, didn't I? And those are recent boars I killed. Just trying to figure out Where the hell? I got a glass of wine sitting in there. Where the hell I put it? I swear it'll be so... There it is. There's my jar of rest root extract. So let's craft some more of that. All right, I need water as well. Let me get my water bucket. And we'll just craft some more. So all you need is rust root, which is a high-level foraging thing, water, and a clay jar. And you can make rust root extract. So I'm just doing that. And boom. Not quite a full jar. We have more rust root just kind of all over the place at the moment. I want to try and fill the whole jar before I go up, because I thought a good way to end this episode is a little bit of prospecting. Because we haven't found a place yet to do that. You know, I actually had a rope in one of these, didn't I? I did. It's this one. I also have wax all over the place, which I am saving up the wax to make a lot of hardened leather. We'll need it for a mine hole. My eyes are really glazing over looking at some of these. I must have another piece. Rust root. There we go. Beautiful. Craft all. So I've already prospected under our houses and didn't find anything, unfortunately. It would have been really nice to have a mine hole that close to the village. Alright. So we've filled up our jar, as much as we're going to get it full right now without being wasteful. Let's actually go fill up the bucket of water, just because I'm going to be out at the well anyway. And one thing that I think I don't want to do, no matter what, even if it's useful, I do not want to prospect near the water. Because even if there is metal down there, having a mine hole right next to the water, that is just begging to have bandits take us over. A high-quality metal mine hole, and they can see it right from the water. Oh yeah, there's a lot of trespassing right there. This is a person who's lived here since before I got here, but he's never logged on. So I use trespassing to go in there and check things out to see how advanced he is, to see if it's maybe a place he would give up eventually. I don't have theft, though, so I can't steal from it even if I wanted to, and I don't want to steal from it, and he has nothing good anyway. But hey, maybe one day he'll join the village. Come on. Well, the soldier ant's kind of nice, but even then, soldier ants are kind of weak for me now. It's really hoping for an ant empress. It's with the change and peaceful I have in my character sheet here. In my personal beliefs tab, with how much I have there. Empty. With how much I have there, I could really, really get a lot of LP. It's worth like 11,000 LP, which is amazing considering it's only like 3 hours to study, maybe less. It's crazy. It's great. I love it. And I still collect blueberries whenever I can, just because blueberry pie is a wonderful, wonderful thing to cook early on. That is some mean server lag right there. Holy shit. God, I want to prospect, but I cannot pass up the opportunity here of possibly getting an ant empress. Even an ant queen is still... it's not great, but it's okay. It's low mental weight and doesn't take long to study. It's really efficient for the time spent on it. I'll put it that way. I am thinking of making shrew bread soon, which I think I might actually go around and make shrew bread for everyone in the village at some point, especially new players. Got nothing good out of that. Shrew bread will require you get your intellect up a bit. And it's not terribly efficient. It's 5 days to study. I think it's a mental weight of 16 or something. But the base LP is 10,000. It's meant to be something you put on your character maybe when you go on vacation or something, because it takes 5 whole days. But for players who don't play as much, it would probably be amazing. So yeah, I just want people to have that option. So I will be making some shrew bread the next time my harvest of wheat comes in, and I can start grinding up some seeds. Anyway, we gotta have our prospecting button here. I'm just waiting for these ants to de-aggro. There we go. And let's prospect right here. So the higher quality of extract you have, the wider range it covers. I believe 20 is enough to get 50 tiles, something like that, 20 quality for 50 tiles. It's something in that ballpark. It just determines in a square around you. No minerals found, damn. I guess this is a little far away, but... I also want to check out this mud flat a little bit. Yeah, that's why. My foraging skill allows me to find some passable LP items. They're weak, but they also have very low mental weight, so it's not hard to use. Now that's bramble up there, which I am already studying some tangled bramble at the moment. I believe tangled bramble is the better of the 2 LP items you tend to find in mud flats. There's like a wide one and a tall one. I think the tall one takes less time, but it's less LP per hour. Usually when you measure efficiency in study items, you measure it in how much LP you would get per hour studying it. We have ink root down there if I want to make ink for parchment, but that's not really a concern right now, and plus I see that stuff all over the place. There's a claim down here. You know what? I think I'll prospect under that claim. I'm curious. Why did this person pick this spot? And sometimes it's because there's a cave. But I don't see a cave. No, they don't have a cave here. If you see a cave, by the way, set up a claim around that. If you're not planning to live in our village, set up a claim on a cave you see, because my god, those are important. Let's prospect here. I'm curious. I don't know if this is an active house, actually. Everything is fully grown, which leads me to believe it might not be active. If you ever see crops that are not fully grown, it's almost guaranteed that people actively live there, because that means they've been on in the last day harvesting and planting crops. No minerals found. Well, it might be active. Nothing looks decayed yet. It's hard to tell. Let's prospect a little bit longer, because I'm sure it's not the most interesting thing to see. Is that all decayed? Is that just a road, or is there going to be a fence when I get close enough? It looks like I might have had a wall there one day that is decayed with time. That does happen. Get a little closer. Yep, no walls popping up as I come into view. Looks like this is a site of where a village used to be. It's been abandoned. You see a lot of these. We do have an LP item over here with that flower. We got that there. Oh yeah, this was definitely a straight-up village. Multiple people lived here because they have a bonfire pit. Bonfire pits are where you can set up a huge fire and eat in front of it, and it'll make it so you can eat even more than usual. Let's actually drop those things we don't need like that, so that we can raid some more ant hills. I'll do one more prospect. I believe it takes 0.2 every time you do prospecting. That or is 0.1, I always forget. But I'll do one more prospecting before I teleport back home and end the episode, because it's been going pretty long. So we're just going to raid these things, and then we're going to get out of view of the ants. We're actually going to sprint a little bit just to use some stamina to get ourselves hungry again. Our max health does need a little bit of raising. Max health goes down as you commit crimes. So we're going to have to start leeching soon. Got nothing good out of either. And I might as well kill that rabbit. Rabbit bones are only ever 10 quality, which is quite low. Some friendly bulls. Which is quite low, however... shit. I wasn't close enough to it. Low quality bones I like to use for sage bones or seer bones, whatever they're called. Oh, right, I just don't have the inventory space. I'm an idiot. Whatever, I don't care. You can use those for seer bones, which is a curiosity item you can study. Of course, you get a lot more LP out of it if you study a higher quality bone. However, it's no big deal, really. It's just something to fill out some space. Also, we have 2 rust root around here, I should gather. Looks like there's a small homestead there. Don't know if that's active. We'll take a look at it. Where's the other rust root? Let me, I think it's back behind there. Let me use Control X. And yes, it is behind there. So we'll go get that. Always keep a vigilant eye on your map, by the way. Because you never know when you're going to see a little white dot pop up and there's another player nearby. And you need to make that judgment call if you run away right away, because it could be a bandit, could be someone tougher than you who just wants to kill you, or it could be someone completely friendly. More often than not, they're not friendly. More often than not, there's that feeling out process at the beginning of trying to figure out if whether or not either of you are friendly, and they could just be pretending to be friendly. You know, fuck it. Not gonna get that dandelion. I'm on air anyway. Okay, let's prospect one last time here. And hopefully we'll find something. Don't know what's being built there. It looks like it's an abandoned house from a long time ago. I've seen that 1,000 times and it's never been worked on. Looks like someone gave up on this game early. No minerals found. We'll find them one day. I really should have taken off my hat before coming out. I really should have brought my bearskin cape in case of a fight breaking out. But let's go check out this person's house before we end the episode. This is looking abandoned. Yeah, the fence is all worn down. He hasn't been repairing the fence. That's worn down. That looks like it might be worn down. Looks like he was starting on a log cabin there. Active claim. I'm gonna actually trespass here. Turn on criminal acts. Because I want to read this. Oh, it's Russian. Might have been a bandit then. Not to sound like a racist, but the majority of the bandit community in this game are Russian people. That is just a statistical fact. Alright, we'll pick this and go home. I am always looking for higher quality nettle to make myself better nettle clothing, just to increase the bonus on my survival some more. Looks like that's it here. Let's craft, let's fill up the rust root container a little bit more. I really should be picky here and use only good quality rust root. Let's actually drop the bad quality rust root here, because the higher quality rust root, the wider of an area it searches. There we go. That's a good quality rust root. Can I dump more in there? No? Okay. It's too full? Too full. It's completely full, in fact. And you know what? So I can remember it, I'll put it by the farming stuff. Alright. That's it for this episode, then. Again, if you want to join the village, all you have to do is be active on the forum, and I'll get people to join in. And next episode, I think maybe I'll get Ash over here whenever he's free, and we're going to do some boating. I can actually equip that right now. We're going to do some boating and do some more boat-related thingy things. What's it called? Boat-related questing. Where we go around and we look for interesting items and we kill animals and it'll be great. Until next time, have a nice day.